So, guys, are we ready to acknowledge that Tom Cruise is a really badass action star yet? Hey, everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, the fifth Mission Impossible movie in the franchise. Once again, starring Tom Cruise and some returning cast members from the previous films. So, I'm going to admit this. I was never a huge Mission Impossible fan when the original film came out in 1996. And Mission Impossible 2, I remember skipping that one. And I became a fan of the franchise with the third film. And the fourth film was my favorite. And so I was going into this movie because I really enjoy the last two films. I did go back and I thought the first one was actually good. And the second one is still the weakest one, though, in my opinion. So what did I think of this movie? Did it live up to the fourth film? And did it live up to all of them? So what did I think of it? Let's get into it. First of all, you can't talk about Mission Impossible without talking about Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the star of this movie, and he is badass. For a guy who's already in his 50s, very early 50s, of course, you forget that he's a guy in his 50s, and he feels like a guy that could be in his 20s or 30s, because he's just so good at what he does. He does all his own stunts in this movie, which is incredible. And, you believe that, wow, this guy is badass. Like, he can give Liam Neeson a run for his money. That's how good Tom Cruise is in all these films. And, people forget sometimes that a lot of the stunts in these movies are real, and you feel it while watching it. Go watch some behind the scene videos. That plane sequence that you've seen in every trailer for this movie is legit. That's him riding on top of the plane, holding on for his life. And apparently I just heard that they filmed that scene at least 5-6 times. So that's incredible, knowing that, and that Tom Cruise is willing to go the distance for these films and showing what he is able to do. It shows that commitment from that actor, and you gotta have respect for an actor like that that's willing to make these scenes feel as real as possible, because that's, I think, sometimes a lot of people like. Not that CGI is bad, it's good to have CGI for a lot of things too, but if an actor is willing to make it as believable as possible, you gotta give them that respect. And Tom Cruise, he is a great action star. We also got a lot of great supporting characters. My favorite obviously being Simon Pegg. I loved Mission Impossible. I don't remember if he was in the third one already. And I think he was in the third one, but I remember the fourth one is where he really started shining more. I think it's because maybe the third one he had a small role. I don't remember now, but the fourth movie I remember him in more. And then in this one, it seems like his role has expanded even more. I felt his role was even more important in this one than in the last two films. And, you love Simon Pegg. He plays this character. He's not over the top funny, but he's a certain amount, he's right. He's perfect in this movie for who he is and what he's playing. So you enjoy a lot of those moments. There's even the villain, who is very intimidating in the film, that I really thought was cool. I don't think he was up there with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman in the third movie. I thought he was probably the most intimidating villain for me, personally. But this one was pretty intimidating as well. He's pretty creepy and all that. So, Tom Cruise does have a challenge in this movie, and it's more with Battle of the Minds rather than a physical aspect. The action in the film, every film, Mission Impossible film, has great action, and to me, I think with these last three films, they get better and better and better. And like I said, the plane scene in the beginning, this is the interesting thing. They've been highlighting that plane sequence in every trailer so far, and when I was going into it, I was thinking, wow, so this is going to, okay, so that's gonna lead, I guess the movie's gonna lead up to this point. And it actually doesn't. I'm spoiling it here, I know. But you'll be surprised that this scene comes very early in the film. And then it leaves you wondering, well, okay, so what's gonna come next then? What's going to be the big payoff towards the end? And I guarantee you, you will enjoy the movie throughout. There's a lot of great action sequences that are just as good as this, and that's the fun of it. It keeps you guessing and surprises you along the way, and I think that's the fun of this film. There are some negative things for me, but they're very little. I felt the movie was maybe a little bit too long. Not too much, but they could have shaved off a little bit here and there. I was also a little uncomfortable in the theater itself, though, so maybe that could have also factored into it, because my theater, I don't know why, it was like boiling hot in there. So I don't know if that was, I'll most likely see this movie again, and then who knows, maybe my mind will change a little bit more. Maybe I will think it's a perfect movie overall, but right now I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10, guys. I thought it was really enjoyable. Yeah, I'll put it in my top 10. Not in my top 5, but in my top 10 for sure of the movies that I've seen so far this year. I thought it was a great experience, a lot of fun. I also, took the DBox for the first time. The DBox in the theaters, or at my theater anyways, is where you go on these chairs. They're not your average chairs. There's like 3 rows of them. And the chairs are like those chairs that move during the action sequences, so you feel the vibration of the chair moving and all that. And I never tried it before, but I wanted to. And I'm gonna admit, I thought the action sequences, you feel like you're in the action with the film. So it was actually, I enjoyed the DBox quite a lot. If you have a DBox in your local movie theater, I'm not sure if all movie theaters have it, but my theater did, and I decided to check it out for the first time. It was a lot of fun during the action sequences, so I definitely recommend that. So guys, with that being said, it was a fun film. I enjoyed it. Go check it out. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And if you haven't seen any of the other Mission Impossible movies, go check them out. They're all, well, okay, the second one's not too great, but check them all out anyways. Take care.